Dreams. Dreams are chthonic deities, sent from the underworld to relay oracular messages from the gods. They reside in the twilight between the living and the dead, born from night and servants of Zeus. While much of the historical account surrounding dreams in ancient Greece remains buried or lost to time, what records we possess illuminate aspects of how the Greeks related to the visions that sleep bring. The Homeric epics, hymns, and Hesiod's Theogony provide the backdrop for examining the prominence of dreams in ancient Greek culture. They tell us that dreams are a conduit through which gods meddle in mortal affairs. The Theogony, translated as the Origins of the Gods, was written during Greece's Archaic period by the farmer poet Hesiod. Hesiod describes dreams, or enuroi in Greek, as a tribe born from night and the brothers of sleep. This is the only explicit mention of personified dreams in the Theogony, but through it, we can infer that the enuroi, spawned asexually from night, belong to the realm of chthonic deities associated with the underworld. Though this information is limited, Homer expands on dreams in several ways. The Iliad, written by Homer around the same time that Hesiod was active, establishes where dreams come from, the conditions under which they are prophetic, and how a dreamer makes contact with a dream. The Odyssey restates and expands on several of these ideas, while adding more information related to where dreams reside and how they are interpreted. Beginning with Book 1 of the Iliad, the classic tale of the Trojan War, Nestor, the old king of Pylos and a general of the Greek army, calls for a priest, or a reader of dreams, to help determine why Apollo cursed the Greeks. Nestor declares that dreams are sent from Zeus, as is the case with the baneful dream that Zeus sends to Agamemnon in Book 2. The dream is a servant to Zeus that dutifully transmits the thunder god's message to Agamemnon. The dream possesses some degree of agency, however, as it takes on the form of Nestor and introduces himself as a messenger of Zeus, though he was not prompted to do so. However, given the lack of evidence surrounding the activity of dreams when not governed by Zeus, the degree of their agency is uncertain. Upon Agamemnon's recounting of the dream sent by Zeus, Nestor's response to the rest of the Greeks provides some insight into the acceptance of dreams' oracular reliability in the ancient world. Nestor declares that if the dream had come from anyone else besides the mightiest of the Greeks, Agamemnon, then there might be cause to doubt its legitimacy. But given that it was Agamemnon who received the dream, its prophetic value should be heeded. It is worth noting that although Nestor called for a reader of dreams previously, indicating that they held positions of value in Greek society, Agamemnon's dream, and indeed most other dreams in Homer's works, do not require interpretation, but instead explicitly foretell events that are to pass. The next mention of dreams and their interpretation occurs during Book 5, when Diomedes, a Greek hero, slays the two sons of a dream interpreter, never to return home to have their dreams interpreted. This could mean that in this instance, dream interpreters are not well regarded, since their father was unable to foresee their fate in the Trojan War. Or, it could simply mean that they won't return home to see their father, since they are dead. Diomedes is mentioned again in the context of dreaming, being described as an evil dream standing over the head of the Thracian king Rhesus in Book 10. Standing above the head seems to be the location through which the dream interacts with the dreamer. We see this in nearly every instance of prophetic dreams in the Homeric epics. Indeed, it is precisely through the positioning of the god or entity over the sleeper's head that we can infer a dream is taking place in otherwise ambiguous situations. The spirit of Patroclus visits Achilles in a dream in Book 23, instructing Achilles to hold funeral celebrations for him, lest he remain unable to enter the underworld. If taken literally, this example indicates that the spirits of the wandering dead who have not yet entered the underworld may appear and enter into the dreams of mortals. This also marks the first occasion of a dream not being explicitly sent by Zeus, which is a condition Nestor sets for dreams in Book 1 of the Iliad. Though as with the Aneuroi in Book 2, we cannot know how much agency Patroclus possesses as a spirit, and whether he was sent by Zeus to convey this message. However, the following passages about dreaming seriously contest Nestor's claim about dreams. Book 24 mentions Hermes, conductor of the dead, speaking to Priam while the old king sleeps, taking the customary position above the sleeper's head. This is a tenuous instance of whether Priam is receiving a dream from Hermes, or rather that Hermes is speaking to Priam from a position that the Greeks thought a sleeper could best hear them from. However, given the previous examples of dreams transmission from this specific position, and the following examples from Homer's Odyssey, it is likely that this is another instance of dreaming, and the first of several occasions of gods other than Zeus relaying dreams to mortals. The Odyssey is the story of Odysseus, a Greek hero, and his circuitous journey home from the Trojan War. There are several passages that expand on the role of the gods in the experience of dreams, with the first mention of dreams in the Odyssey occurring in Book 4, as Athena sends a phantom in the form of a woman to console Penelope, Odysseus' wife, as she sleeps. This phantom delivers a vision, while Penelope slumbered very sweetly at the gate of dreams. Though this phantom is not referred to explicitly as one of the Aneuroi, it possesses all the trappings of one. It changes form to something suitable for the dreamer to interact with, stands at the top of the dreamer's head, and provides a vision. Again, this marks a notable departure from the logic of dreams set up by Nestor in Book 1 of the Iliad, as this dream is sent by Athena and not Zeus. This is not an incidental occasion, as Athena again is the proprietor of a dream sent to Nausicaa in Book 6. This time disguising herself as one of Nausicaa's friends, Athena again takes the customary position at the head of the sleeper and delivers her message to Nausicaa. When Nausicaa wakes, she marvels at her dream and sets out to put it in motion by going down to the river to wash her garments and make herself more eligible for marriage, which is part of Athena's larger plot to help Odysseus return home. The next mention of dreams occurs in Book 11, while Odysseus speaks with the spirit of his dead mother during a summoning ritual. Dreams in this instance are used metaphorically to suggest the tenuous nature of something, but little else. Following this, the next mention of dreams in Book 14 echoes Nestor's comments on how the prophetic dreams of notable people should be heeded. Odysseus spins a story to his swineherd Eumaeus to see if he can get his cloak. In this story, Odysseus tells his men that he has had a prophetic dream and requires a man to go inform Agamemnon, which causes one of the soldiers to immediately rush off to relay this false prophecy in a false story. Though Odysseus' story is nothing but a clever lie, this passage reinforces the concept that prophetic dreams are heeded in ancient Greece, especially so if dreamt by a person of importance. Book 19 of the Odyssey confers one of the more interesting depictions of the architecture of dreams. Penelope asks a disguised Odysseus to interpret a dream for her, a rare occasion in the Homeric epics, through which Odysseus correctly interprets it. The dream involves an eagle killing her pet geese and declaring itself as her husband, which Odysseus interprets as exactly that, Odysseus killing the suitors of Penelope. The more interesting segment occurs after this interpretation, where Penelope provides some insight into determining whether dreams are prophetic. Penelope explains to Odysseus that dreams pass through one of two gates, one made of ivory and one made of horn. Dreams that pass through the gate of ivory are false dreams, deceptive or without meaning, while dreams that pass through the gate of horn are truthful or prophetic. This is the earliest mention of the gates of horn and ivory, and is largely, if not completely, a play on words. The Greek word for horn is keras, while the word for fulfill is kreno. Similarly, the Greek word for ivory is elaphes, and the word for deceive is elapheromai. This play on words is unfortunately not well preserved in English, though it illustrates that the significance of the gates of horn and ivory is probably more literary than mythological. Penelope's final mention of dreams occurs in Book 20, where she states that gods send evil dreams. The last mention of dreams in the Odyssey occurs in Book 24, as the spirits of the dead suitors are being led by Hermes to the underworld. During this passage, we get a description of the land of dreams, residing past the streams of Oceanus and the rock of Leucus, and the gates of the sun. The placement of the land of dreams is an interesting choice, as it exists somewhere between death and waking life, much like sleep. Finally, Hermes appears again when referencing dreams in the Homeric hymns. In the Homeric hymns, which are Homeric in the sense that they are written in the same style as Homer, Hermes is briefly described in the hymn to Hermes as a bringer of dreams. This association with Hermes and dreams makes the most sense out of all the gods' connections to dreams that we've seen in Homer's works. Hermes has connections to sleep and the underworld. He brings both death and sleep with the closing of the eyes of Argus, and he leads the souls of the dead suitors to the underworld in the Odyssey. The hills of Hermes, or Herms, which were placed on the road as lucky omens for travelers, were also used as grave markers. He is a conduit between the living and the dead, just as dreams are. Dreams and divine prophecy are inseparable in Greek mythology. The culture of divination surrounding dreams was heavily attributed to the gods, though the logic of dreaming's relationship to gods and prophecy is fluid within and between the works of ancient authors. Homer states that dreams come from Zeus, which he contradicts through having dreams sent by Athena, as well as having Hermes and Athena pose as dreams themselves. Additionally, the Homeric hymns depict Hermes, not Zeus, as the bringer of dreams. One may contend that since Zeus is the ruler of the gods, and all is done according to his will, that this is not a direct violation of Homer's consistency. However, the numerous quarrels and acts of deceit among the gods call Zeus's omniscience into question. What we see consistently throughout the works of these ancient authors is the dynamic use of dreaming as a vehicle for change. However, much of the mythology of dreaming remains unclear. What is the relationship between prophetic dreams and Apollo, the god of prophecy? Is there a connection between dreams and prophecy that is related to the friendship between Hermes and Apollo? What separates the Aneuroi from the gods and spirits that we see transmitting dreams without their help? What remains is a rich fascination with dreams that affected Greek life and philosophy that continues to manifest itself in the contemporary study of dreams. Thank you for listening. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment regarding your thoughts on the topic and what you would like to see in future videos.